Hi friends, I'm going to try and do this quickly and quietly because I have children sleeping and I don't want to wake them up. But I wanted to make a video about homeschooling. It's something that, like, the way the world is looking right now, I've heard a lot of people concerned about the way public schools are looking, and also asking questions about homeschooling to me, and to other people online and stuff. I've seen a lot of concerns and a lot of growing interest in homeschooling, and I've also seen how little a lot of people know about homeschooling, and I kind of wanted to just make a quick video addressing some of the concerns I've heard, and just kind of talk a little bit about that. Disclaimer also, obviously my oldest child is only 4, so I don't have a lot of experience homeschooling, but I do have experience as a homeschooler. A lot of people already know this, but I was homeschooled all the way through school, K through 12. I loved it personally. Not everybody does, but I did. And ever since I've had kids, I've wanted that for my kids, and it's just something I'm kind of passionate about. And another disclaimer, please don't take this as like bashing or judging anybody who's chosen public school. I'm like, the decision you make based on schooling your kids are entirely yours, and you can ignore me. This is just for people who might have a little interest in homeschooling or maybe have concerns about homeschooling. You can also ignore this if you're already homeschooling because you know all this. So the first thing I wanted to say is how beautiful the freedom of homeschooling is. So like take what you know about what school is supposed to look like and just throw it out the window. Like with homeschooling, school can look like whatever you want it to look like. If you're more structured and you like a system like public school, like maybe you want to start math at 9 o'clock and then break for lunch at 11:30 and then the next subject from there, like that's good, that's fine. If that's your style, you can do that. If you're a little more free-spirited like me, you can be. It's okay. Like some days we do really good structured school, and we do worksheets, and we do reading books about our theme for that week, and like Bible memorization, and then some days we just don't. Some days they're just engrossed in playing, and I let them, and that's fine. But kids learn a lot from just playing. And that's fine. You just cater it to your lifestyle or your style. You can, the timing, routine, religion that you put into it, curriculum is all up to you. And I think that's awesome. Another thing is you can cater it to your child's learning style and learning abilities, and completely base your schooling around your individual child's needs, which I think is a huge reason to homeschool if you have a child who's been struggling in public school, because you can individualize your learning. Some people are concerned about like homeschoolers doing well into like college and higher learning. All I can speak from is my personal experience. We had a very like free style of schooling. We weren't very strict about like tests and making sure like each subject was covered equally, and like we didn't do a lot of testing. Most of my schooling came from reading, honestly, but I did pretty well on the ACT, and I had my pick of colleges. I chose SMU. I did really well there. I only went for 2 years. That was completely my choice, but I did well there, and I had a really good relationship with all of my professors, and anyway, it was just a little, homeschoolers can make it, even with a very loose, free style of learning, can make it into higher learning. I remember being 16, I think it was the day I got my driver's license, and like packing up my school stuff in a cute bag and driving to a bookstore that had a coffee shop, and like getting my iced coffee and doing school by myself, like, and thinking how beautiful is this. Like I felt so lucky to be not in a classroom, but like I could go out and do school on my own, and I was free, and that was such a cool feeling. And with homeschooling too, like I was very independent, and I didn't want people like telling me what to do. And so me and my mom kind of had an understanding, like if I needed help or I didn't understand something, I would ask. But otherwise, I basically just did my school. We would go pick out the curriculum and figure out what we would use for each subject and have like agree on that, and then I would just do it. And it was great. Not everybody can work that way, but that worked for us, and I loved it. You just fit school into your style. The other huge concern that I hear a lot is socialization, which I understand where people are coming from, but it's not something to be that concerned about. Like, unless you're completely secluded, you're going to get socialized somehow. But there are homeschool groups. There are co-ops that have like specific classes on subjects, kind of like school that we do like once a week. There's libraries. There's play dates with friends that you make along the way. For high schoolers, you can take college classes. Just interacting with people day-to-day life, like at the grocery store, the gas station, volunteering, running errands, whatever. You're going to be around people. Activities like dance and sports, theater, music lessons, like they have these things for homeschoolers. I was in homeschool orchestra, I was in homeschool theater groups. There's all kinds of things for homeschoolers that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people are concerned about their kids turning out weird. This is really not a concern of mine. I know I'm weird, and I don't really care. Honestly, I want my kids to turn out weird, if weird is the standard of like not blending in and fitting into society and culture. I don't really like our society and culture today. I don't like what it looks like, and so if my kids are different from that, I consider that a good thing. I consider that a success. What I am concerned about is if my kids are kind, and if they contribute positively to the world, making the world a better place. I would love for them to know how to interact with people of all ages, not just their peers. I've heard that said before. Sorry, my phone cut me off. What I was saying was, the only place in life where you are surrounded exclusively by people within like a year of your age is in school. Everywhere else, from your work, your neighbors, people you pass on the street, like you're surrounded by people of all different ages. And it's important to me that my kids know how to and are comfortable interacting with people of all ages. I think that's more important than just staying with their peer group, because then you're learning from people older and wiser. You're being able to pass down wisdom to people who are younger. Like, there's lessons for everybody involved, and I think that's more important than knowing how to fit in with people your own age. That just comes by being around people. So those were a lot of the concerns I hear about socialization. Another concern I've been hearing a lot is, oh, I can't teach my kids. Like, I don't have a degree. I didn't do that great in school. You can. I'm not a gifted student. I'm horrible at math and science. I was okay in college, but I haven't needed math and science, but everybody's brain works differently. I'm not really concerned about it, because there's other ways to make sure your child gets the education that they need. There are, if you are concerned about a specific subject that maybe you're not good at, there's co-ops with classes in those subjects. Again, mentioning college classes for high schoolers. There's tutors you can hire, online learning programs. There's a lot that have nothing to do with the public school system or EPIC or whatever. There's like online programs for different subjects. I did a math one, I forgot what it was called. But that's how I did my high school math, was online. YouTube is great. It's a great teacher for a lot of subjects. Friends and family that you have that might be gifted in certain areas would probably love to help your kid with their homework or on a specific subject, helping to tutor. But finding a community of other people that might be gifted where you're not, and could help teach what you can't. Like I said, most of my learning came from reading, And I think books are an incredible resource for any and all subjects. So those things can be taught in unconventional ways too. Another way that I did a lot of my learning was just through doing life. And that's a huge point I want to make, is I think the best education comes from just doing life. Teach your kids what you do on a daily basis. What do they need to know to do day-to-day life? Our family ran a coffee shop for a short time, and I could run the coffee shop as well. Like, I was doing everything my parents were doing to run it. I was 13 years old, and like, I knew how to run the cash register. I could like close out the cash register at the end of the day. That was a huge like help for my learning math. And it was like math that I could actually use someday, was like running that coffee shop, measuring, making the coffee drinks. Like, it was all very educational for me. And it was doing something that I actually needed to know for real life. This house I'm in right now, our family built, and I helped build that at like 10 years old. And there's a lot of school lessons to be learned in building a house. Working with my mom, and when she worked for in our church kitchen, like feeding hundreds of people every week, like I was right there, seeing how she like made the list of how much stuff she would need for how many people, and like recipes and all that stuff. Like, I learned by doing with her. So I feel like that's the most important thing. Like, let them being intentional about including them in your life is the best way to teach them. Like, let them like pay the cashier at the grocery store, or it teaches problem solving. Like, how many problems do we have to solve on a day-to-day basis? Let your kids see you figuring it out, even when there's not an easy answer. They need to learn how to do that. Reading directions, following recipes, like, these are all lessons that are learned from like doing. And I think that's the best way to learn. So that was a huge point I wanted to make. Another little quick thing, that this is mainly for moms in my stage of life that have very young ones or very new to this. And if you're like, I don't have a lot of money, I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of people have asked me like what curriculum I'm using, and like I really made it up. Like, I think the most important thing you need are books, whether like a home library or just access to a library. Reading is very important. And then I have like these workbook things. They're like just a few dollars at a dollar store. Nothing fancy, like just teaching letters and how to like write your letters. And there's some little easy math, basic counting math stuff that we do. You don't even have to buy those. You can like make your own, just like draw the letter A and have them trace the letter A. I don't really have a curriculum right now, but if you have other questions about exactly what I'm doing, I'd be happy to share. But again, I'm just making that up as I go. I'll get more into curriculum as like my kids get older, but right now it's just very basic stuff. It's not hard to get started, and there are a lot of experienced homeschoolers out there that would be happy to walk you through if you like have older kids, high schoolers who are looking at graduation. A lot of people are like, how do you like get your kid to graduate? There are a lot of experienced moms that would be happy to answer those questions for you. I don't remember exactly, but I know we didn't have a lot of tests and stuff, but my mom made a transcript, and like I got into college, it was fine. But there are people out there who would love to answer those questions for you. A lot of homeschool groups out there that will help walk you through that more than I could. Anyway, this was just for those who might be interested in this subject, and if you were not, please ignore this. And thank you for watching if you did. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.